without further ado, I'm going to let Gary and SpinetiX's Mariana McLean have the floor in just a few minutes. They're going to do a special demo of SpinetiX's ARYA, and then George Preston of SpinetiX is going to come back on with Gary at the end of the demo, and they're going to do a Q&A. So don't forget, add your questions to the Q&A feature to the side of the screen, and yeah, we're gonna do it.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Gary Kay, and I'm excited to be doing a live demo of the SpinetiX ARYA cloud-based digital signage platform. And what really excites me is this is not just going to be any old demo. This is the person who's in charge of the entire platform, Mariana McLean, the head of design and cloud services from SpinetiX. Mariana, how are you doing this afternoon?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, through the magic of technology, I'm in the United States, you're in Switzerland. I'd rather be in Switzerland, quite honestly. I love your country. Through this magic, we bring you on to the launch platform to do a live demo. And there aren't a whole lot of options for cloud-based signage. And this is one, if not the most powerful cloud-based signage platform. And you have a few different flavors. And I want you to take the time to do a demo. And then at the end of this demo, George Preston is going to pop on, and we're going to do a Q&A. So hold your questions to the end. So take it away, Mariana.
Fantastic. You said you love our country, so let me show you a little bit more about it. So the first thing we are going to do today is we are going to set up our players. So in here, in these two little windows, I'm going to actually simulate what's going on the screens. So behind these screens, there are two of our HMP 400s, and in here, what we like to do with ARYA is to add tags. So in here for Gary today, I'm adding Switzerland and I'm adding Zurich on one of my players. On the other player though, I'm adding Switzerland and Geneva, and you will really shortly see why I'm doing this. While I'm at my players page, you see that as I add tags in here, tags are in here as well for filtering. So I can say which ones are in Switzerland. Take a look, there are two. Which one is in Geneva? It's that one. Talking about players, furthermore, I'd like to say also that in here we have a couple of technical details, but in here what's important for all of you guys that all our updates are included in the platform and you don't have to worry about this. That's something that we will take care of. So now having this technical part sorted, let me show you how do we do stuff with ARYA. So what we have realized that people in digital signage have lots of troubles creating a content, and sometimes that's linked to the time and cost. And we have tried really to remove that barrier completely out of the equation. So what we do actually at the same time, if I'm looking for a logo, I can add a logo, I can customize all the colors. Let me briefly just show you what am I doing. So I'm really changing all my templates at the same time. Of course, I can add my own font, or I can delete any of fonts I want to, or I can add any new fonts. And here we go. I change all my templates in just a couple of quick clicks. And it's not only that I'm changing the templates that I'm seeing currently here, I'm changing equally their version, which is vertical. Let me just briefly show you. And that's it. This is really how ARYA helps you to get there very quickly. So for us today, I have already pre-worked a little demo of the country where we are headquartered. And if we, for example, take a logo, so that being our flag, what I can do now, the tags will come into equation. So I can choose my player, and in here, I can really see my tags. So I see all my players by their name, but I also see the tags, which really helps me. So in here, I say Switzerland, and this logo will go to both of my players. So this is kind of great if you have a really large implementation and you are targeting 100 screens or 1,000 screens, a million. It really doesn't matter for you. This is one click, which is kind of exciting. The other way we deal with content in ARYA is using something we call Smart Sync. So this is even more exciting. So in here, I have one project with 3 slides within. So one is Zermatt, some of you might know it. One is Geneva. So in here, I'm going to add a tag. Okay, so you see it already shows up. And then I have another slide, which is Zurich. I add the tag. And what I'm going to do next, in fact, is only say Smart Sync. So ARYA will go deep in the project and really pick up the content that is tagged equally on a player and within the project. So it really doesn't matter. I have 3 slides, but one will be Geneva in here and Zurich in here. So that's our Smart Sync. We really like it. The other things we have RSS feeds, so very exciting as well. You can choose your RSS in here. If there are particular ones that you would like to have, we can do always a special custom list for you. What's exciting in the way ARYA apps are working is the following thing. You see, whatever you do with the container where your app is, we are going to really optimize it. You see the image is completely optimized. Or if we do something really like that, then we figure out you can't have an image, so it's only text. And this is really applicable for all ARYA apps. I'll show you a couple more. For example, we have a menu. So many people like to put menu in, and finally we are back in the restaurant, so that can be handy. So the way it works, you really pull the menu from here and you see how many entries you would like, and you customize the way you want to. Of course, we can connect to any API that you would want to, or we can connect to any third-party system. So let me publish that to Switzerland as well. And as I'm publishing the content, you can see in here what we are doing is actually a playlist on the fly. So we have really gave up the idea of playlists that are completely fixed. So we are giving you this liberty to really decide what would you like to have on the screen. Another thing that's interesting maybe for you is coding here. So you really don't want to overload your screen. You'd rather have a nice image and really key messaging here, and then behind the code you can really have a PDF or form or any web page that would bring you more details. So let me publish that as well, so later on we can see the schedule. I won't go through all of the templates, but maybe just a few that are interesting. I would love to show you the weather, because that's another interesting one. You see, in terms of app, you can really play with anything. All our templates are completely flexible, and you can do anything you do. And you see the way I move the container, the app is really smart, so it adjusts and takes the space that is available. And this is really the logic of ARYA. Another thing people like about ARYA is wayfinding. So it's very easy. You can do it manually the way as any other app. Now you know how does that work with us. You can manipulate these, or we can really automate that in any way you want. I'll publish that one as well. Always easy, you see. We also have a countdown, which is also count up. So if there is something in the past or in the future, it doesn't really matter. You pick up the calendar and you choose the time, the language, anything that makes sense to you. So I do that, and here we go. I'll publish that one as well. So any of the templates you can, as I said, you can copy them, you can modify them, you can delete them, you can really do whatever makes sense to you. So all these templates, all these projects, sorry, that we have published together, let me just show you where they go. They go in schedule, of course. And in here, we find again our tags, and I can filter, and I can filter furthermore, and I go to Geneva, and what's in Geneva. And in here, in a very visual way, we can really see all the content that I have published now for you. And in here, it's interesting things happen. So I can copy the content. I can change the order of any single element in here. So it's really very playful, if you like. I can bring my own content inside. So I can say drag and drop simply in here. And it's not that I'm dragging and dropping in a schedule. I'm actually publishing this on the screen at this very moment. So let us just briefly see that. That is.
I have a question. I have a question for you. I just saw how you just drag and drop that into the menu, and it literally created, it put it in as part of the playlist for that device.
Yes.
Does it just assume that each image is going to be in the playlist, and then you can go back and edit it? And can the images be any kind of files, or what are the file limitations?
You can have any kind of files, you can have videos, you can have images, and you can, of course, adjust, we are pushing it 24/7 if you don't know what's your time frame. On a play level, we can also set from, I don't know, 9 to 5. So there are these, and of course, you can furthermore set recurrence, you can set the range of time, and of course the time. Let me just briefly show you how does that work. So you see it in schedule again, it becomes something very, very visual. You see? So talking about this, one interesting thing that we can also do, let me just choose one, it's priority scheduling. So you see this little calendar with a star. We can say at this very moment, I would like to see only that content, and that will effectively just hide all the other content and put that one in priority. That one or many others that you would like, but that really allows you to choose the slots that you want and put something in priority. Here we go.
That is amazing. So you've made this so that anyone in an organization can run the content and really kind of create content with the way you've templatized this. I really like how you resize the windows and the content. We used to call widgets. I don't know what they're called now.
Yeah,
blocks. How it can tell how much space you have and how much content to show, rather than you having to make that decision. Now, I would assume that you could go back and sort of override that and say, I want the font to be smaller, or are you sort of making design parameter decisions on behalf of the client?
They have any decision they want. This is really to quick start them, and then at that point in time, they can go back to any content and well, let us do it together. At this point, I would like to have that.
Yeah, let's go back and screen share again. I think you're building a slide right now on the fly.
Here we go. This is what I'm doing. So I'm changing this font into, let us, Formula 1 font. There we go. So it's really, really super easy to play with, and everybody can do it. So that was one of these things that I really thought ARYA should do. It should deliver to the people who have never used digital signage in their lives, but also should deliver intelligence to people who know what they're talking about. I'd like to show you something more. We have built-in alerts in ARYA as well. So we have predefined couple, and of course, in the very same way as anything else. So once you have learned how to deal with the content, it's the same logic. So I can just pick up that one, and I can actually activate alert on all of my players.
So an emergency alert or a message that you need to send out. We have Amber alerts here in the US, and yeah. So
you can, of course, add your own. You can put partial alerts. You can put full screen alerts. It really depends what you are trying to do. We are just kickstarting you that you can do that on your own.
And I assume that this, through some sort of control system, could be connected automatically through an alarm system or a fire system or a fire security system or something like that as well.
This is beauty of ARYA, because everything can be done manually and everything can be connected. So it's, every single ARYA enterprise account is different. So it depends what you actually want to do, what is it that you need, and you'll deliver upon that need, really. Last thing, Gary, two more things, in fact. I'd like to talk about different people using ARYA. This is where we have spent lots of time trying to figure out what is the good way, and we do hope we have found it. So it's very easy to add a user, first name, last name, email address, password. That's all that's needed. And you see I have some users in here, and I can give them such a variety of different rights, like Jane can just modify, for example. John can create, can publish, can touch the players. This guy in here can touch alerts only. The guy in here can, for example, this is an interesting thing. I can furthermore restrict. I can say he can work on Zurich, and she can work on Geneva. And even in here, I can go deeper down and modify only or create and publish. So we can really give you ARYA that you need. So if I restrict this for you, you don't see the templates, you don't see anything else. You see only what I have tagged Geneva. So it really helps keeping everybody's role right where it should be.
Right. And you said you wanted to show two things. So that's the first. What is the
That's the first. And the last thing I would like to share with you is our support. So the way we support ARYA is, the first one is chatting here. And it's really the people who test our products deliver that support. So they know all the small little details that maybe, generic support guys would miss. Another thing that's happening with this chat, if I go to players, you will see that the top suggestions will change. You see every time I touch, so we do that in that way. And then everything that I've showed you today and everything that we demo, you can also find in the videos that we have created. So they're all highly visual, and if there is a need to demonstrate what's going on the screen, you can see, for example, in here, we are doing it. There is no text. It's really a click by click. How do you do something in 10 seconds, 60 seconds, but that's top. And furthermore, if you're interested in FAQ, we really have FAQ in here. It's pretty detailed. And we have intelligent search. You go, I don't know, PDF, for example, do we support that? Yes, we do. And you get all the questions about this.
Yeah. And all this, by the way, is at SpinetiX.com, SpinetiX.com. Mariana, obviously your UX experience and design experience made this a winning combination of a product. I mean, congratulations. The design elements of this are clearly coming from you, and I think that you have a superstar product here. This is the simplest cloud-based system I've seen, and it's also the most graphically pleasing system that I've seen out there. So congratulations.
Thanks so much. I mean, we are really pleased with the product, and we are pleased to hear that feedback from our clients, from our resellers, and from you now. Thank you.
Yeah, and let's bring George Preston on now to answer some quick questions. We have a bunch of questions coming in from the attendees. We don't have time to answer all of them. We'll answer a couple of them real quick. So let's bring George on. All right, good. All right, I'm back with George. Hey, George. Appreciate you doing that. We just did that little session here, pre-recorded it to make sure that it timed in with you coming in here. And we only have time for a couple of key questions that came in. One is, if I'm a company and I built my own templates, can I store them in the cloud separate from the templates that come with the platform itself? And can then I share them within my organization if I'm a global kind of company?
You absolutely can. So with the enterprise version of ARYA, what we've built in is the ability for an email address to be linked to more than one account. So you can, if you're a content provider, for example, or you're providing managed services, you can have a login, and then within the system, you can switch which account you're then attached to for that session. And you can put content into all of those accounts. Of course, the end user is ultimately in control of the permissions that you have, because we put that power in their hands. But it means that you can transfer content around different accounts. You can provision accounts with content as a value-added service, yes.
And then there are a lot of player options in the world today. We're going to talk to, for example, Samsung next. It has their own built-in player in a lot of their displays. What accessibility is there for this platform for third-party players and embedded players out there?
Yeah, it's a great question. So SpinetiX.com/players has a list of devices that include, but is not limited to, SpinetiX branded devices. What those devices have in common is they all run the SpinetiX operating system. So any device, including some slot-in cards for the new generation of SDM displays, the successor to OPS, can run SpinetiX DSOS. Okay,
perfect. And I love it. The demo is great. Her UX experience obviously is up the ante in cloud-based platforms. This is the top now. I'm sure you're going to win a lot of awards with this. I've really enjoyed the keeping track of what I remember when y'all first displayed at ISE, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago with the little small players. It's been amazing to see you grow. We're only had a time for a couple of quick questions so we could stay on schedule. I appreciate you joining me live here because obviously she's 9 hours ahead of us and we had to make sure we coordinated this. So thank you very much.